In a world where the truth isn't always what it seems, four masters of real estate step forward to help put the E first in the word true. TREU. Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed. And now, here's the Fantastic Four of Real Estate with their host, Tom Platania.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed, or TREU Radio, as we like to call it, because we're here to help you understand what the truth is about buying, selling, investing in real estate, and the issues that surround it. And that's one of the big things we're going to be talking about today. But don't forget that you can go to TREUradio.com. Now, that's not spelled typically true. It's T-R-E-U. We always want to put the E first because we want to educate you. A lot of folks out there get taken advantage of, but we want to help educate you first so that you make the right decisions when choosing a realtor, like the Fantastic Four that we have with us: Scott McAllister, Andrew Sesta, Farouk Ali, and the lovely Carol Morgan, as always. So don't forget TREUradio.com. You can go like us on Facebook. Go to Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed on Facebook. We're on Twitter. So you can see all the topics, like the topic that we're going to be talking about today, which is, it is a hot topic in the town. So our topic today, the Big Choo-Choo, the Martin County Menace. We are talking about the potential high-speed train that may be coming directly through our town here in Martin County, potentially. And when I read this, I almost choked. Potentially up to 32 times per day. Is that right?
That's correct.
I've never, is there trains come through that often? How often are they now?
I think I heard somewhere that there's about 18 a day that come through Martin County.
So, we're almost tripling that number.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's got to, and then go as fast as it's coming through.
Yeah, it's only supposed to be 60 seconds at a crossing.
Yeah, it's 110 miles an hour is what they're saying.
Yeah.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah, 60 seconds. Is that including the rail going, the little levers going down, or just its time going across?
I think that's
time
just
going
its time.
across.
Yeah, so it's like 22 minutes.
Yeah.
No, insane. But there's all kinds. When you started telling me that we were going to talk about this, I went online and it's like, oh my gosh.
Well, the issue is, these railways come right directly through the downtown areas.
Yeah.
And some residential areas. And can you imagine just something that it's like being next to a raceway?
Yeah.
I know. I live not too far off of. I live off of Cove Road, and I'm almost to US 1. So from US 1 to where the railway is kind of far.
Yeah.
But I can hear that train loud and clear every time it comes through.
And I bet you this one's going to be even though it's faster, it's going to be louder. Right?
I would assume it probably is. Yeah.
Wow, just
Yeah,
unbelievable. But they got an entire website just for this, and I was on that thing last night, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Every letter, every document, every note. Florida not all on board.com.
Right.
But crazy. But hey, what's up with the red shirts, guys? I like it. Red Day.
Today is Keller Williams Red Day. It is
Day.
our National Day of Service to give back to the community.
Oh,
so we have we had our things during the holidays, but this is something that's nationally every Keller Williams office is going to service their local communities today.
Today, nice.
Yeah.
Now you guys are what are we? Hibiscus Children's Center
Yes.
up in Jensen Beach. I know. Actually, there's a young lady who runs Martini Network. You guys familiar?
Yes.
Her name escapes me right now. But if I
Veronica.
went through
Yeah.
Veronica, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Veronica. Great person.
Yeah,
but
she's
she's part of
awesome.
the Hibiscus Children's Center up north.
Yep.
And boy, I tell you, she started Martini Network all by herself, and that's a great organization.
Yes, definitely.
A lot of great people go to all kinds of different events, so it's a fun thing. So you guys, for you're sponsoring Hibiscus Children's Center. Do you know what some of the other organizations that the other local Keller Williamses, like in Port St. Lucie?
I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea. I know it takes a lot of time and energy to just focus on the ones that we have here. We try to find something that really will give back to the community.
Right.
Yeah,
we've done a home for an elderly lady that we went out and it had been totally overgrown. We went in and We had painters in there. We had cleaners in there.
wow.
We had cut trees. This house was covered in vines. The neighbors all came around and said, "Thank you so much."
Wow,
It helped bring their neighborhood back. So we do a lot of good things. Last year we were up at the food bank. We went up and we stocked shelves. We painted. We cleaned.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That's now for what exactly is Hibiscus Children's Center?
My understanding of Hibiscus Children's Center is that they're children that are waiting to be placed into foster homes.
Okay. All right.
And they're in need, as always. Everybody is when you have that type of a source. They need supplies in there. You don't have to be a member to go there and take diapers, lotions, food for kids, clothing.
Wow, that's nice.
So we're going in there and we're going to go in and do some cleaning, and we're stocking them back up and
Beautiful. Beautiful.
doing what we can.
That's why we're all casual today. you know?
Yeah. Except for Andrew.
Andrew's never came. He's always
I didn't get the memo.
He paints in a suit, so you know. I mean, that he doesn't do anything low class.
He's got red on. We just can't see it.
He's going to be that guy sitting in the rocking chair holding one of them babies.
It's got a big S on it for the
Yes.
Superman.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Oh,
There you
sorry. All right. Well, if you'd like to give us a call here at the studio to view your opinion or talk a little bit about the big choo-choo that's coming through here, that high-speed train, give us a call here at the studio at 772-220-9788. We'd love to hear your opinion. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of talk a little bit about it, but also how it's going to affect the housing market if it potentially comes through. I see that as being, based on what you were just saying, Andrew, I see that as being a big concern.
Well, not only for the residential side of it, but even the boating side of it. They say that that's going to back up because that the bridge, the railway bridge.
Horrible.
First of all, I don't see how something that fast can go over those. That's been the
thing
same
looks like
since
a rust.
'76 when I was here, and I could imagine how when was the last time it was redone. But yeah, the boaters are going. The boaters are going to be, there's going to be a waiting line. They say a 25 to 30-minute wait.
Yeah, I mean,
every
even
time
now
one
with
comes
just the
through.
regular trains, I mean, there's certain times in the morning when I used to take the boat out fishing and whatnot. I mean, I would have to go like super early or just go a little bit later because you would sit there forever.
Right. Well, now imagine we're going to triple the amount because I'm still, from what I understand, the same railways, the 18 that come through a day that with the freight, and then add 32 on top of
more.
that.
Yeah,
So
that's
do the math real quick. You're talking about
going to
couple
deter
every
boaters
hour.
and everything. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
So it's not just the real estate market, but it's just the
Right.
lifestyle in Martin County as a whole is going to be greatly affected. And the funny part is it's not even going to stop here. I mean, this is just a passing.
It's
Right.
not going to stop here at
No.
all.
No, it's not going to. I think it stops
Vero?
in Palm Beach,
Between Palm Beach and Orlando, it's
Fort
just.
Lauderdale, and then
No, I think there's a Vero stop, isn't there?
not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, at
I
the
thought
meeting
it
I
was
went
a-
to, they said Palm
No,
Beach to
Palm Beach
Orlando.
to
is just
Orlando.
Unreal.
So it's like, why can't they use the western section of town where Amtrak already goes? That's what I don't know enough about it
Yeah.
to make
But we'll
an
get into
educated
that.
I actually have
statement,
a little info about that.
Okay,
We'll talk
good.
about later.
We'll talk
Great.
about that later.
Great,
But
awesome.
But before we get into the topic, we just want to let you know the views and opinions expressed here on the show by the realtors are of their own. So that means what Scott says, don't hold it against him.
Or don't hold it against me.
Or me.
Most all the information that we have received is from local sources, news articles, or the website, FloridaNotAllOnBoard.com. So that's one place that you definitely want to go to look at the information. And I tell you, anything you can imagine about this topic is on that website. Pictures.
Very controversial.
Oh, very, very controversial. So make sure that we understand that. So you can give us a call here at the show if you'd like to talk about that. 772-220-9788. That's the 9788. 220-9788. So you can go to TREURadio.com. You can actually watch this show live. You can see the group here in the studio, and then you can also go back to any of our archives if you've missed any of our shows in the past. You want to hear any of our great sponsors and partners that are with us here. And basically anything that you can imagine about a home, you can find here on True Radio. From great realtors that know everything about everything, just about, but always learning, to all the partners that could walk you through from step one to considering a home to the final step and moving in.
Definitely.
with
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah, we have
Small.
some great partners.
Yeah, Mr. Small Movement. I tell you, I've heard nothing but great things.
Now I got a legal question about this for.
And he looks at Andrew.
Yeah, well, no,
You're all dressed up, Andrew.
well, he's the one that looks like a lawyer here. So go on. No, but as far as when we talk about disclosures, you're always supposed to disclose anything you know that might affect a property if you know it for real.
Right.
Do you, at this point, if somebody lives near the tracks, and obviously you disclose that, a block from here, do we have to do they have to disclose that there's a potential
Of course.
high
Of
speed rail
course.
coming
Of
in?
course.
Absolutely.
So that's something they really need to
Absolutely.
think.
We had the same, not the same situation, but when I was in the Port St. Lucie market pretty heavily when the Crosstown Parkway was talked about and all that kind of stuff, and they moved that roadway there was several different avenues, so that was kind of confusing because you didn't know if they were going on one side of
Yeah.
Port St. Lucie, the other, and I don't think they still know, but anyway, yeah, you definitely have to disclose that there's a possibility. Because it's it can affect the value of the
Yeah,
home.
It can.
there's actually a suit up there right now because of that, with the extension now that's going all the way through.
Yeah, but see, there was so much controversy, and I really didn't even know I mean, being here in Martin County, I didn't know that was going to go through where it was going to go
Yeah.
through. Had no idea because there were six different areas potential areas that it could go through. And it's been a decade that this
Yes.
thing's been
Yes.
working on. Who knew? I mean, who really knew? And so,
But
yeah,
I'm not too well versed in this, so I'm going to be asking more questions, and
sure.
and we have a couple people going to be calling in today that have been involved in a lot of it. But
Oh, good.
this thing just felt like, to me, it just kind of snuck up on us. Did this just start this past couple years? I looked back on the internet and I saw Martin County started talking about it with the commissioners about a year ago, and now they're saying that the potential is, I mean, if it goes through, we're looking at like 2016 for this thing to get started.
Mhm.
Is that correct,
That's
Scott?
correct.
Is that what you've heard
Yep.
in the meetings and stuff?
Yeah.
And how did this come about? Like all of a sudden, or?
Well, it definitely, the Florida Not All Aboard people have done a really kind of grassroots effort of bringing the attention, because it did kind of sneak up. I didn't notice it until I started seeing a lot of the signs posted and people talking about it, and that's when I really started looking into it. It did kind of sneak up on me as far as knowledge. I was kind of like, oh, where'd this come from?
Yeah, exactly.
So I've been spending the past few weeks really trying to educate myself in it. So to learn, is it something? We don't want to be fear mongers and say
Sure, of
this is
course.
something that's going to totally
Right.
ruin real estate, but we want to educate ourselves and then educate our listeners as
Right,
what the
right.
best things are.
The thing I was trying to find online is what the benefit to us would be.
I didn't
have
see
this thing,
anything.
and I didn't see any benefit.
Especially if it's not stopping here.
Right. I mean, if it was stopping here and was bringing people in and trade and tourism and that kind of stuff, then you could say, well, for the downtown Stewart,
Yeah.
if there was a stop
Yeah.
there, it would be good for the businesses and that kind of stuff. But the thing is, like I said, that comes right through downtown Stewart. You're talking about school bus issues. You're talking about a lot of different.
Yeah, and they were talking about that on the Florida Not All on Board in some of the letters and whatnot. The governor was talking about making sure that if you're going to do this, we want to see some budget plans on what you're going to do to invest in upgrading the safety structures
Yeah.
and upgrading this and upgrading that, and and obviously the tracks are not going to be able to, as they are, handle this.
And they
this-
claim they're not upgrading any of that stuff.
they're not.
That's what
Oh
I.
yeah, okay.
that's
well,
what I hear.
I'm going to
I mean,
move west.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, how many times have you seen that bridge by Roosevelt?
Yeah.
Not be able to go up or down. I mean,
Oh,
that's gotten stuck quite a few times.
Can you imagine that train? It would have to like stop in like Melbourne, start slowing
Right.
down.
Well, I think
Going
it's
in.
kind of ironic because the day they had the rally out there, or the
It
regatta.
got stuck, right?
Well, no, a train came
Oh,
through
train-
as they were there.
Oh, okay.
It was so ironic that the bridge went up and the train was going through. It was like, okay.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and take our first quick break to hear from our great partners that help us support the show and also help support you listeners. So if you'd like to give us a call back about the Big Choo Choo, the Martin County Menace high-speed train, give us a call, 772-220-9788. You're listening to TREU Radio. We'll be right back.
When you buy a home without a housemaster inspection, things can break down without warning. When things break down without warning, you get angry. When you get angry, you may commit acts of random violence. When you commit acts of random violence, you could do hard time. Don't do hard time. Call Housemaster for your home inspection needs. 772-336-2111. Or visit them on the web, stlucy.housemaster.com. Customer service and great rates. That's what you get with Atlantic Insurance Advisors. Remember, everyone's just one torrential downpour away from a flood. And with rates as low as $129 per year, why would you not get coverage? Call 772-233-4444 or email flood@atlanticinsurance.us and save hundreds on all your insurance needs. That's 772-233-4444, 233-4444 for Atlantic Insurance Advisors. Every 13 seconds, a home intrusion is committed in the United States, with property loss totals in the billions. Take action today to prevent it from happening to you with ADT, protecting homes and businesses for more than 136 years. Protect Security is your authorized ADT dealer on the Treasure Coast. Call Richard Stratman today at 772-708-2691. Protect Security and ADT, offering peace of mind security 24/7. Call today, Protect Security, 708-2691. Dramatic change invites invigorating new energy. Let Decorating Den Interiors create a dramatic change in your home's decor. They'll create a look that's important to you. Begin your home's gorgeous transformation by calling Decorating Den Interiors on the Treasure Coast at 692-8589. Visit their waterfront design studios on Southeast Osceola Street, downtown Stuart, and online at stewartdecorator.com. Every 13 seconds, a home intrusion is committed in the United States, with property loss totals in the billions. Take action today to prevent it from happening to you with ADT, protecting homes and businesses for more than 136 years. Protect Security is your authorized ADT dealer on the Treasure Coast. Call Richard Stratman today at 772-708-2691. Protect Security and ADT, offering peace of mind security 24/7. Call today, Protect Security, 708-2691. When you buy a home without a Housemaster inspection, things can break down without warning. When things break down without warning, you get angry. When you get angry, you may commit acts of random violence. When you commit acts of random violence, you could do hard time. Don't do hard time. Call Housemaster for your home inspection needs. 772-336-2111. Or visit them on the web, stlucy.housemaster.com. You're listening to WSTU Stuart.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed. I'm Tom Platania, your host. Don't forget to go to TREUradio.com, where you can actually watch and listen to us live here in the studio, but also go back and listen to any of the shows that we've done. We've had some really great shows with a lot of information. And so if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate, you can always go back, find out some information, and then any given time, you're always more than welcome to call the show. You know, even if the topic today is not what you're looking for, if you have a question, one of our agents here, one of our top realtors, can answer that question for you, and it doesn't have to be on topic. So you can give us a call, 772-220-9788. That's 220-9788. But the topic today, we are talking about the big choo-choo, the Martin County Menace, the little high-speed train that, well, possibly might come through. And I guess they have all kinds of petitions up. There's a website, FloridaNotAllOnBoard.com. But remember, the views and opinions expressed today on the show are those of the realtors and not necessarily of the host or WSTU. So all right, so the high-speed train. I saw a picture of it, and I don't know if that was the one that was in, like, Asia or Tokyo or whatnot, but, I mean, it's pretty.
Well, and
I could be like, wow, it looks good.
I personally am a big fan of public transportation. I mean, I did spend the last decade in Chicago, so you can't be up there without that. And I know it's a different situation there from here, but and when you look at some of the high-speed trains they have in Europe, And when my brother was over there, he was telling me how awesome it was getting from country to country in some of these, and it sounds like a great thing. Like in my head, I'm like, that sounds awesome.
Right.
Especially if there were a stop here, I'd love to be able to hop on the train and go to Disney World, on train.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That sounds like it would be a really,
Yeah.
a positive thing to do. But I do know that there's a lot going on, and I did last week. I went to a meeting, the Florida Not All Aboard meeting.
Oh, okay.
They had one at Pirates Cove, and it was sponsored by the Martin County Republicans, and they give us a different perspective. And like I said, I don't know how much of this is absolute truth.
Right.
This is what they are claiming, but they're saying that it has nothing to do with commuter rails. This company Fortress, which is a
Right.
large hedge fund, they have contracted to bring double the shipping through the Panama Canal and into Florida ports by 2015 and 2016. Now that's a good thing. More shipping is more money, more tax money. But to do that, they have to improve the railway to get more freight across the rail. And what the claim is that a lot of this is going on is so that they can get public money to improve the railway for their purposes of shipping more freight.
Aha.
Which could be a good thing for
Yes.
Florida, but let's be transparent about it. And if that's what you're really doing, then admit it. Because according to everything I've read, there's never been a profitable high-speed rail in the United
Right.
States.
Wow.
So they're trying to say
Interesting.
they have do they have the formula for the very first profitable,
Yeah,
high-speed
after,
rail?
After all this time.
After
yeah.
all this time, or are they really just doing this,
Yeah,
to
they were talking
increase
like
the freight?
10 was it 10 million? It used to be like 5 million per, I forget how far it was, and now it's up to like 10 million per such a distance of rail track being done. So you can imagine if it wasn't profitable at 5 million, how the heck is it going to be profitable at 10 million? And you're going from Orlando to West Palm. I mean, think about all the money that could be in between if they were stopping. And I mean, PSL is a nice, a center. I mean, Stewart's a great location as well, but it's to
Well,
have that.
a lot of the cities that were set up this way. They were set. New York City and all the
Right.
Chicago. I mean, that they weren't taking existing tracks that were built 200 years ago.
Right.
Going through certain centers. They built them. They built them around the cities. They're all up in the air. They're not
That's
stopping
true.
traffic and
Yeah.
that kind. This type of railway was not. I don't think it was envisioned when it was
for what
put
they're
through.
Yeah, what
that
they're
we're
using
going to
it
have
for.
110-mile-an-hour passenger trains coming through.
I think they thought you would die if you went that fast back then. Like, you can't go that fast.
You can't fly.
Only a horse can go that fast.
Yeah, like when we were watching, you were watching Back to the Future, and you saw like
Right.
the 6 or 7 people's faces on the TV. You're like, wow, that's awesome that you could see somebody recording like that. Look at us, we're walking around with phones that can do it.
Right.
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 All right, well, we got a caller on the line. We have Jan Frazier. Is that correct?
Yep.
That's correct.
Good morning, young lady. How are you?
Good morning. I'm just fine.
Hi, Jen.
Jan Frazier. This is Jan from Keller
Yes,
Williams.
Keller
Williams.
yeah,
Yep.
Keller
Morning,
Williams
Jan.
From the Fraser team. Thank you so much for calling in, Jane.
Wonderful.
You're welcome. You're welcome. My pleasure. This is a subject that I'm really passionate about.
Well,
and
I knew
think
you were
that-
really passionate. That's why I got on the phone this morning and called Hal. And I'm like, you got to get her to call in the show because I love to hear what you have. Your part on it.
Well, what Scott just shared is a lot of what is being uncovered behind all of this. I mean, even before the freight backstory was uncovered. I mean, this is just it's just not a positive situation for us as taxpayers or residents of this area in any way, shape, or form. Even if it stopped here, at least there would be some benefit. But
Right.
The amount of blockage of our waterways, and let's face it, most people that move to the Stewart area move here for the waterways, the fishing, the boating, and the lifestyle that
The tiki
this
bars?
area offers.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And these trains, they're saying that the railroad bridge that goes across our North Fork of the St. Lucie River, that bridge will only be allowed to be open if this all goes through, 15 minutes an hour.
Wow.
And they can choose whether it's the beginning of 1 hour and the end of another hour. So
Wow.
just think about the boating and how that ultimately, all right, boating is pleasure, but that pleasure is what brings people to this area
right.
for
Yeah,
lifestyle.
definitely. And that's, I mean, that's going to kind of paralyze anybody on the other side of that bridge from
Absolutely.
reaching the inlet and going, ocean.
Yeah,
and-
selfish capital of the world. I mean, you got a lot of boats that are high up like that with the sport fishermen and whatnot, and there's no way that they're going to be
Well,
like
even the small boats cannot get under the railroad bridge.
Right. I mean,
unless
there's
you're in
no
a
clearance.
canoe.
And that
like
was
doing
my
the limbo.
That was my point before you called, Jan. It's like these weren't constructed with that in mind at
No.
Right.
that point. If they came in and they were going to come up with an alternative and say, okay, we're going to put that up in the air, or we're going to do this, but
Right.
but Jan, tell me about the alternate route that they can go through Indiantown. Why are they not using that as a viable way, especially if they're not going to stop here? So why would they bring it through the city?
They don't own those tracks, so
Right.
they would have to lease them. And
Okay.
that's done all over the country, and they certainly have the money to lease them. But they own these tracks, and what they want to do is use taxpayers' money to beef them up. And
Okay.
the bottom line is that they can't do that if it's for freight. They can do it if it's for passenger.
So that's the whole
That's the
the whole
sneaky
cake
way
on
around.
the
The
whole
whole thing,
thing.
there's billions of dollars in grants and taxpayer money that they're going after. So not only are they going to ruin our lifestyle, but they're making us pay for it.
So Jan, tell us how. I mean, are we going to have a say so in this county as far as, because a lot of stuff what I read, it was like we're not going to have too much of a choice. How does that play out?
Well, that's exactly what they want us to believe is that we're not going to have much of a choice, and that's what the politicians, even locally, many of them, on Martin County's board, this is what many of them have said. Well, they own it; it's private. We don't have any choice. Well, we're taxpayers, and we're going to be funding that improvement. And I think anytime the taxpayers are going to be paying into the improvement for
Is
a
it
private
we as
entity.
Martin County or we as the state of Florida?
Well, it's at the Martin County level that a lot of them are saying no. I mean, I say a lot of them. There's a couple of them that are squarely for this, even though it's not stopping here, and it's against everything that.
Because I'm sure Palm Beach and Orlando are pushing for this because I mean it just helps their trade and their transportation, easier to get, from point A to point B.
Right.
So
Miami, Palm Beach, for one thing, they've got stations there that they're going to be beefing up, and that this hedge fund has owns the property that they've been buying up around those areas to build these stations and commercial centers. So sure, they're really looking forward to it. But from Indian River County right down through Jupiter and Sequesta, nobody, it doesn't benefit this area at all.
right.
And
But do we have a local say so, or is it would it be that everyone in Florida would have to vote against this?
well, they're not even putting it up for a vote. I mean, that's number one. So
Okay, so
so
We're
we don't
getting
even have a
railroaded?
vote. Oh my God.
yeah, we're being railroaded. Yeah.
But a bump.
Wow.
I couldn't know.
If you really want a lot of the facts about it, if you go to the Not All Aboard website, www.notallAboardFlorida.com, they have done tons of verifiable research, and there are links to all of our representatives, and I mean people have to make
Educate
noise
yourself,
through
yeah.
the system, because right now they're not all aboard Florida is saying it's not an issue, it's happening, and everybody wants it, and that's just not the case. And so we just have to make sure that our representatives representing us know that not everybody
Now,
wants
is that where I'm sorry, go ahead.
ahead.
Is that where you go to sign a petition against? I know
Yes.
there's a petition going around for that.
Yes,
Can you
sign
give
a
us that
petition.
information?
You can sign a petition, get the facts, because it's very difficult in conversation to put everything that is out there, but read what they have uncovered, get the facts. It is ultimately all about federal funding to beef up those tracks and getting them ready for freight.
And
I mean,
that's
there's
all
no
on
So
that.
do you really feel that maybe this is just a way of getting having this a temporary service in there until the tracks are beefed up, and then finding out the train doesn't work, and then they're going to cancel it? Is that a possibility?
I don't see that they're going to cancel it.
I mean, if nobody's using it and they can't run it, they don't have people going back and forth on it, what would their alternative be?
Well, then they'll say, well, gee, holy gee, you know, we don't have enough for all of these passenger trains.
Right.
But we have freight.
But we can run
But we
freight
can
on
run
it.
But
freight
we've now had our tracks
Yeah.
fixed, and we
That's
can run
right.
freight out on it.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's the whole thing in a nutshell.
Real
And-
quick,
Wow.
we have from Toronto, Canada, with us on TREUradio.com in our chat room. We have Mr. Farouk Ali.
Good morning, Farouk. How are my fellow Canadians over there?
Farouk just said, "Hey guys, greetings from Toronto, Canada." So he's up there doing an event. So what actually do you call that event that he's
He's
at?
doing an international event. I
Yeah,
think,
he's
with
doing
the-
international. I think
Great.
it's the real estate convention up there.
Yeah, and there I saw pictures on Facebook of him, and
Yeah.
seems happy. And
It's a huge venue up there.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. That's wonderful.
Awesome.
There's one
It
other
is.
thing I just want to add,
Sure.
and that is that the Coast Guard can intervene regarding the blockage of the waterways. The
Wow,
Coast Guard
okay.
can.
Ooh.
Wow, that's
They,
interesting.
however, need to have a total plan put before them, and from what we learned at that meeting and I've heard it from other sources, not all aboard Florida, but what we heard at that meeting is that they're dragging their feet. All aboard Florida is dragging their feet at getting that comprehensive plan together, and trying to put it off to the last minute so that the Coast Guard might not have as much time to rule on it. But
Yeah.
they do
I
ultimately.
read that also.
And
Yeah,
al-
they
al-
do ultimately control that waterway. And
Right.
could stop
Now,
it.
Jan, we're talking about not for All Aboard Florida website, and we have an All About Florida website. Do we have a for All About Florida website? Is there any for the controversial side of all of them?
I don't. I'm sure that there may be an All Aboard Florida site if you Google that. I know that there's Stop Big Choo Choo and there's not All Aboard Florida. You know that is the one against it. But I really haven't. I don't know. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't think that they want to educate the public. They
Yeah, of
have
course not.
really
No,
been
definitely.
trying to fly under the radar.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think the
And-
public needs to be educated. I mean, there's certainly pros and there's cons out there on it. I'm not sure myself one way or the other because, you know, I'm not really sure how it's going to impact us because you're hearing so much negative.
Yeah.
But I do think we need to hear the positive side of it before anybody really makes a real fair, a decision one way or the other.
Well, Carol, you gave me this really good article from
Right.
Sunday. If anyone wants to look up it, it has a good dissection of both sides. It was in the Stewart News on Sunday, so I'm sure you can go to their website.
Okay.
It was a
and check
very
it out.
interesting article.
It does have both sides of the topic. if
Oh,
you
okay.
want.
All right. Well, Jan, I appreciate it. We're going to actually take a quick break. You're more than welcome to hang on, or if you got to go, that's wonderful. But I appreciate you being here. We're going to take a quick break and listen to some of our great sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to do a quick Hot Around Town here with True Radio.
Customer service and great rates. That's what you get with Atlantic Insurance Advisors. Remember, everyone's just one torrential downpour away from a flood. And with rates as low as $129 per year, why would you not get coverage? Call 772-233-4444 or email flood@atlanticinsurance.us and save hundreds on all your insurance needs. That's 772-233-4444, 233-4444 for Atlantic Insurance Advisors. Are you selling your home? Wondering how you're ever going to move all your belongings? Well, don't wonder. Call the trusted moving professionals from Mr. Small Move. Their staff of full-time movers are ready to take the stress out of your next move. Mr. Small Move will safely pack, move, then place and assemble your belongings at your new location. So if you're moving, call the trusted professionals at Mr. Small Move. For a free estimate, call 283-5540. That's 772-283-5540 for Mr. Small Move. Every 13 seconds, a home intrusion is committed in the United States, with property loss totals in the billions. Take action today to prevent it from happening to you with ADT, protecting homes and businesses for more than 136 years. Protect Security is your authorized ADT dealer on the Treasure Coast. Call Richard Stratman today at 772-708-2691. Protect Security and ADT, offering peace of mind security 24/7. Call today, Protect Security, 708-2691. Dramatic change invites invigorating new energy. Let Decorating Den Interiors create a dramatic change in your home's decor. They'll create a look that's important to you. Begin your home's gorgeous transformation by calling Decorating Den Interiors on the Treasure Coast at 692-8589. Visit their waterfront design studios on Southeast Osceola Street, downtown Stuart, and online at stewartdecorator.com. Has a recent foreclosure, bankruptcy, or short sale spoiled your credit? Fidelity Funding may be able to help. Their hometown lenders are specially trained to work with your credit history to find the perfect loan program and get you back on track. Even if credit is no problem, Fidelity Funding offers many dynamic loan programs. Call Fidelity Funding on the Treasure Coast at 772-237-5211. They work day in and out with realtors in your community to find you the house you love. Call 237-5211 for Fidelity Funding. When you buy a home without a house master inspection, things can break down without warning. When things break down without warning, you get angry. When you get angry, you may commit acts of random violence. When you commit acts of random violence, you could do hard time. Don't do hard time. Call Housemaster for your home inspection needs. 772-336-2111, or visit them on the web, stlucy.housemaster.com. You're listening to WSTU Stuart.
All right, welcome back to Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed. I'm Tom Platini, your host, and you're listening to TREU Radio. And we're talking about the big choo-choo, the Martin County Menace, the high-speed train that's coming through. For all the information that you'd like to find out, go to FloridaNotAllAboard.com. If you'd like to give us a call here at the studio, 772-220-9788. That's 220-9788. And Jan is another beautiful woman that we should have here on the show with us.
Yeah, Jan's awesome.
Yeah, she
is.
could like fit right in there with Carol and tell you we'd have some of the best looking women here on our radio show out of any of the radio shows going on. I mean, come on, Jan, hang in there. All right, so we got hot around town. So Scott, what's hot around town? What you got out there for folks to buy, sell, or invest today?
Well, we've been going hardcore after listings, as we discussed in the past few weeks. That the inventory was down. Fortunately, we've all been selling, but now we have to get inventory back to sell more. So we were just out in Evergreen, just picked up a really nice listing out in Evergreen.
Okay.
It's going to be we're putting it on the market today. It's going to be $335. It's a 4-bedroom, all wood, kind of upside down house. It's going to you have to find that unique buyer because
it's hard to get in the front door. Right?
Well, the living area is upstairs.
Oh, okay.
So you come in, and it's one of those ones you go upstairs and the kitchen, the dining.
Yeah.
But what's great about that is on an 1.5 acres with a water view. So you're up in your kitchen or in your living room, and you're looking out on the water and your view and all that, and a huge pool.
Where's Evergreen?
Evergreen is up in Palm City.
Oh, Palm City.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And what's great about Evergreen is it's an optional country club. Okay. So there are different levels. You don't have to go in and join at the $10,000 level right out the door. You can go in and pick and choose which plans you like.
Nice.
Awesome. That's nice. Very nice.
And if you're interested in finding out more about Scott's house, give us a call, 772-882-5700. Or you can go to TREURadio.com, click on Scott's wonderful picture on the front there, and it'll go right to all his direct information, his emails, his website, his direct phone number, and he'll be able to tell you all about that. So, Miss Carol, what is hot around town besides your hot red shirt today?
Yeah, my hot red shirt, and I'm not a red girl, so for me to wear red, not a good thing. It's one of those things. Your red triggers off your temper.
There's certain. There are
certain things on that. What can I say?
I've never seen a temper. What are you talking about?
Carol,
I don't show it very often.
No, you don't look like you would have a temper at all.
No, when I really get mad. Ask Cleve, he'll tell
I
you.
was just saying, let's call her husband and ask him what
He'll tell you. Well, a couple things that's hot around town. I'm sure most of all of you knew that Martin County, Stuart, it was 100 years old yesterday.
Oh, happy
That's
birthday.
hot. Happy birthday, Stuart.
There you go.
And then I took another short sale listing in the Anchorage in Port St. Lucie.
All right, nice.
Gorgeous communities. I mean, and it's so affordable. $79.9. 2 bedrooms, 2 baths.
Nice.
Has dockage. It has tennis courts. It's gated, very centrally located off of
For how
Westmoreland.
much?
$79,900.
a
You
good
guys,
deal.
anybody out there looking to buy, you cannot rent a place where as cheap as your mortgage payment would be for that.
No, that's a great deal.
Be an awesome deal for a single person, a young couple, parent
that
with
is
one
nice.
child. It is not age restricted. It is not pet restricted. Pound wise, yes, but normally good. So, yeah,
Perfect.
another new one.
All right, and Mr. Andrew, what's hot around town for you for the Cesta team?
Well, the weather's hot.
Yeah, it is. I love it.
That's good.
No doubt there.
Yeah, we've been doing some canvassing and door knocking, and we have a new listing in Stewart Yacht and Country Club.
Okay.
Beautiful house right on the golf course. It's 3-bedroom, 3 baths with 2 half baths, and we're listing it at $325, which is a very good value in the Stewart Yacht and Country Club.
Yeah.
Also, we added a listing assistant to our team, Jennifer. We want to welcome Jennifer to our team. She got her first listing appointment after 2 days of doing some phone
Nice.
calls.
Nice.
So we have a
Good.
listing appointment tonight at 7. So welcome, Jennifer, and that's about it.
Perfect. And on the phone with us, all the way from Toronto, Canada, we have Mr. Farouk Ali. Mr. Farouk, how you doing, sir?
Farouk?
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you doing?
Good. We
What's
miss
up?
you.
It's good to be on the other side looking at you guys. Beefy down there.
Can you see us?
Huh?
Can you see us?
Pardon me?
I said, can you see us? Or
You watch us online, right?
Yeah, it's going in and out, but I'm able to see you guys very good.
Good.
Awesome,
How's
man.
the real estate show going?
Oh, it's wonderful. You guys got to come up here next year with me.
yes, definitely. I would love
Definitely
that.
I'd love
gotta
to.
Make it up here.
I have to go see my fellow Canadians.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
saw
it
your
was
pictures
so
on Facebook.
awesome.
You look happy.
Yesterday, I came up with most of my materials that I brought up. I had to stop yesterday because I would not have anything to give out today.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
That's
wow.
good. So that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. And Nina and I, we're having a blast here. People are so friendly. As you know, Carol, you guys are very
Yep.
friendly people.
Right.
And,
You are very friendly.
Well, the Canadians are friendly people. I
Yeah.
will say
so
that.
that's what
They
I'm
are.
saying. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. And,
That's
the
great.
They
realtors
drive
here
slow,
is
don't they?
phenomenal.
No, just get out of their way.
I saw your Facebook pictures and stuff. That's awesome. You got a great display you put out over there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was
I
very
love
nice.
Right, I
Toronto.
posted
Toronto's an
everything
awesome
yesterday.
city.
Yes, yes, and the show is great. They have over 250 different companies that is advertising.
That's great. And you're up there recruiting another Keller Williams office, aren't you?
Oh yes, that's what I'm here now too.
He's
Not
taking
an office,
expansion
but
to
I love
another
to
level.
Be in the market center with a small team here. That would be
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah. Did you go to corporate, Keller Williams Corporate in Toronto?
No, I haven't had a chance yet. I'm going to do that on Friday.
That's an
Nice.
awesome,
Nice.
awesome building, awesome
Yeah,
people.
Yeah,
Awesome.
you guys looks great. The show is wonderful. Keep the good work up.
Hey, Farouk, can I admit when I grow up, I want to be just like you?
Well, you have to grow your hair. a little.
I
got the
don't know
beard.
about that.
Yeah.
It's a struggle as well. Okay?
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Farouk. And
Thank you guys. Do be well.
Enjoy,
Soon. I'll be
Farouk.
back over the weekend.
Okay, we'll see you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a safe trip
Bye.
back.
All right, and some more of our viewers listening online at TREUradio.com just sent us a little note that says KC, who formed Florida Not All Aboard, should be applauded for getting the message out to all of us here on the East Coast of Florida. The word is spreading. So I guess, with
Nice.
that
Yeah.
website, that they're going out there and they're making things happen instead of waiting for the politicians to tell us.
Yeah, like I said, it kind of snuck up because I had no idea, and thanks to Jan Fraser, she gave me this. They have cards and said, "Hey, you need to go to this website and start educating yourself on what's
Yeah.
going on."
Well,
And
they've
I
been
was-
talking about this for quite some time. Never knew that it was going to be really coming about.
Yeah, but
You know what
imagine, I mean, with you guys all being that much in the public eye to begin with, and as little as we know about that, imagine what the people who are just
Right.
who aren't
Right.
out there in the
Right.
day to day, knowing nothing about it. I mean, somebody could be like right on the tracks up the street and not have a clue about this, and then all of a sudden something's going to happen. One morning wakes up and sees this thing going past. I mean, can you imagine what the pacemaker would do?
Well, right, and that's what has me bothered most. Not the subject of anything, just the lack of transparency.
Yeah.
The fact that all of a sudden we hear about this,
Right.
and then we
welcome
don't.
to big business.
Right, and I mean, I understand. I'm not naive. I understand that it's real, but it
Yeah.
really that just
yeah.
whenever you see that, you get scared, and you're like, what's behind that opaque
Oh,
film?
well, you know
Right,
there's
you don't
something
know.
there, and
Yeah.
just like
And
anything
you know
else,
there's going to
yeah,
be something that's going to
Yeah.
come out of this that was in the works that was never disclosed.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
the city of Stewart's been working really hard to get, like, Colorado and everything, like the downtown area. They've put a lot of time
Yeah.
and money
It's
and
gorgeous.
businesses.
What a gorgeous
have
little
moved in.
city.
Can you imagine? It cuts it in half. I mean, you can't get from one side to another. If these things are coming through from 7 a.m. to 9, I think we just calculated
It's almost
that's
4 an hour.
4 an hour.
Yeah.
So imagine the backups and I just think it's going to really paralyze the downtown heart of the
Yeah, I
city.
mean, downtown traffic is tough sometimes to begin
And you have the
with.
courthouse on the other side.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
I mean,
Well,
it just
because they have to expand away a little bit for safety from the rails because of the high speed coming in. They said they're going to lose about 110 or 20 parking spots downtown.
Oh,
So I
that's
mean,
a lot.
and that's
They
a
don't-
lot of parking
they-
spots.
Yeah,
to
they don't
lose,
have
you know.
that many to begin with.
That's a lot.
I wonder how that affects that building that's right.
Yeah.
I know
Right there in the
I actually
corner?
know the guy that owns that. I got to give him
Yeah,
a
you should
call
give him
now.
a call.
Say, hey, bud,
Hey, you
know,
wanna
what are
sell
you
it now?
selling tickets or what are you doing? Or something, because I mean that's going to really rattle that place.
Yeah, we'll have stadium-style seating every 15 minutes on the hour. Some
Well,
tickets.
and so many of those homes up in that downtown area are very old. I mean,
Yeah.
they're old homes in there, and it'll be interesting.
Yes.
It will really truly be interesting. I think at this point in time, I still don't know enough data to know
Right.
whether I'm for it, against it, or. I mean, we really have to look at all aspects of this.
Scott,
thing.
what you were saying the positive. You were talking about the tax benefit for the state. I mean, 'cause
Right.
that's really I don't know a lot, but just looking at the whole picture from a business aspect, I can't see how at all it could be any benefit to Martin County directly.
Yeah, I could see an argument that it doesn't hurt us. People could argue that side of it. I don't see any direct benefit.
Right.
Like I said,
Right.
side to the tax rolls for the state,
Right.
which is not a bad thing. I mean,
Right.
I'm pro business, and that's a big thing. But what I'd like to see is if people want to go to our Facebook page, we can get some really good, interesting,
Right.
some heated discussions.
Yeah.
I want to see some people post on there passionately why they think we should do it and why we shouldn't.
And why we shouldn't,
And we can
yeah.
all talk and we can keep this dialogue going long after the show is over.
Or if anybody knows something that nobody else does, it would be great
Absolutely.
to post it out there.
Absolutely.
Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed. You can go on Facebook or Twitter. I mean, Twitter is the big thing for the quick messaging now. Just go to TREU Radio on Twitter, and we'll be glad to respond. We'd love to hear if you got some secret inside.
Yeah, I would like to hear the positive.
Me
I mean,
too.
we were
there
asking
has to
about.
be something.
You always hear so much negative,
Yeah.
but we need to hear some positive.
But
I mean,
again, being that there's no stops, there's nothing, that I can't see a positive. Other
But yeah,
than,
just because we can't see it, somebody
Right.
might know
Somebody
it. So
might have it.
please
Right,
bring that to our
exactly.
attention,
Right.
and we'll definitely talk about it.
Yeah, and we got a few minutes left, so you can call us here at the studio, 772-220-9788. That's 220-9788. You can give us a call and let us know if you think that there is some positive. I know somebody listening to the sound of our voice is out there and has some good things to say about it. So we'd like to hear. But we're going to bring this topic back up again. We're going to be on
yeah,
Facebook
this was
about
a,
it.
Sure,
this
this
was a
is
great
good.
topic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Over
we should
Facebook,
should
Twitter.
definitely revisit it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
And no, that's absolutely. And and from my perspective, fairly new in the industry. I mean, as a home buyer, knowing that something like this was going to be kind of tearing things up. I mean, I hate traffic to begin with, so I would move to a small town like this because I hate traffic. I don't want to go to West Palm. So for me to move here and then find out that traffic is going to, I mean, some of these areas are insane. Indian Town and all those.
Do we know? Does it come through another heart of another city? From Palm Beach to here, do we know?
It has to, but but I don't think it cuts through anywhere exactly the same way.
Same way it's
like
affecting
that
us.
confusion circle. You don't. There's
Yeah.
nowhere else that I know of along that line that it's really just cutting a downtown in half.
Yeah, because
like
right there,
that.
that's actually cutting off like 4 or 5
Yeah.
streets all at one
I
time.
mean,
And that place is a
we're one
mess to
block.
begin
We're
with.
one block off the water there.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I think the train track down south comes in like we're at Military Trail down that way.
Yeah.
So it's farther. It's farther inland. It's farther
That's
west.
what I'm thinking, right.
We're
So we're
by the
probably the
water.
furthest east that it
Probably.
probably goes.
All right. No, I mean, one benefit if you lived in West Palm, you could get to Disneyland a lot quicker, or vice versa.
Right.
You
And
go-
they can wave to us as they're going back. Hey, we're going to Disneyland.
hey, well, you think of it this way: instead of some of the people that live in West Palm and need to go to take a flight to Orlando for meetings and stuff like that, I wonder what the cost would be.
Well, yeah,
but I
'cause-
can't imagine that there's going to be a lot of passenger. I mean, you're talking about there having a little couple passenger trains.
Right.
What is it going to be like one?
right.
It's going to seat like 3 people.
Right.
Right.
You know, and we've all seen boondoggles like that happen. I mean, when
Yeah.
I lived in Detroit, they put the people mover in downtown Detroit and had all this hype, and it turned out to be one of the biggest boondoggles that ever happened.
Oh,
But
crazy.
you know, you never know.
I thought Detroit's in good shape, isn't it?
Oh gosh, no.
Sorry.
All right, folks. Well, you can
Not-
go to TREUradio.com, TREUradio.com, Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed. Great show. Today we were talking about the big choo-choo, the Martin County Menace, the high-speed train coming through. And as always, we end the show with Zig Ziglar. Lack of direction, not lack of time, is the problem. We all have 24 hours.
Oh yeah.
All right, thanks for listening to Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed. Scott McAllister, Andrew Sesta, Carol Morgan, and Farouk Ali from Toronto, Canada. We'll see you next week right here.
Go Blackhawks.